credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. In a matter of days, two major pieces of legislation will be debated in Parliament, both of them expected to have huge ramifications for the renewable energy sector. Shane Seeley has the story.
Before month end, Parliament will debate in full detail the long-awaited Electric Light and Power Act and the Income Tax Amendment Act. These form part of government's efforts to reduce the energy costs for householders in Barbados and the country's $800 million fuel import bill by building out the renewable energy sector. Industry Minister Donville Innes says the move also paves the way for major incentives for those involved in the sector.
The Income Tax Act Amendment, which should speak to some incentives being granted to those involved in renewable energy. And perhaps more profound is the new Electric Light and Power Bill, ELPA as they call it, which would change the landscape of energy provision and use in Barbados.
Minister Innes spoke about the development as he toured Paradise Green Energy, PGE, in Green Hill, St. Michael. PGE is a producer of biodiesel made from old cooking oil. The company produces about 1,000 liters of the commodity per day, and that fuels about 60 vehicles a month. Owner Joseph Del Costello says he's awaiting government approval for his company to purchase petroleum to mix with the biodiesel to boost production.
95% is the consumer, the ordinary person. We now have one business that's going through testing stages with their vehicles, and they're very keen on using the biodiesel. That's one of the reasons why we really need to get the petroleum product that we can blend, because the biodiesel is a very limited quantity on the island from all the oil that we can collect locally.
And Mr. Innes has confirmed that his ministry is looking into the matter and hopes to bring a favorable conclusion to the issue soon. Shane Seeley, CBC News.
Thanks, Shane. Relief is coming for residents and businesses affected by untimely collection of refuse. Minister of the Environment, Dr. Dennis Lowe, revealed government's plans to address the problem at the Sanitation Service Authority's Vaucluse Depot this morning. Sean Farrell has more.
The Sanitation Service Authority currently has about 23 collection vehicles on the road, not nearly enough to adequately service the island. Minister Lowe admits that the authority has been experiencing difficulties with the collection of refuse in a number of areas around the island. He explains that this situation should change very soon with the acquisition of nearly $5 million worth of equipment for the authority. These include a number of skips, collection vehicles and service equipment.
One compactor truck cost anywhere from $450,000 to $550,000. I like to say that there are $500,000 equipment that the government puts in place. Now, I want you to take that into context, because it is true that we'd like to have a running fleet of about 45 vehicles on a daily basis, and we're working towards that. This is the first step here, where we've now injected an additional 9 new vehicles, collection vehicles in the service. We've also added 2 brand new skip vehicles to collect the skip waste, and we've also added some service vehicles.
Dr. Lowe says the next step is to review the allocation of routes. He also reveals plans for a new vehicle maintenance program.
Right here on this site, on the west side, will be the construction of a new mechanical workshop. This is also going to be the site, I should also add, of the new administration building, which should get underway within the next 4 or 5 weeks.
The Environment Minister says the new headquarters will be a 5-story building, the cost of which is still being negotiated. Sean Farrell, CBC News.
Thanks, Sean. Barbados Waste to Energy program is about to become a reality. Environment Minister Dr. Dennis Lowe has been providing some details on the program.
I would say a matter of a month and a half from signing off on an arrangement for the construction of the plant. We anticipate that the plant will take about 18 months for construction. So we are hoping that, all going well, that in the next 2 years we should have an ultra-modern waste-to-energy plant, the first of its kind in the region.
Dr. Lowe says the waste-to-energy program will have a major impact on recyclers.
With the waste-to-energy plant coming on board, that diversion will now have to be sourced to the plant, and certainly we will work with our recyclers to ensure that they are not disadvantaged in any way, but that they work with the government in achieving its objectives. We're also working on the development of a leachate plant to treat leachate that results from the storage of waste in the landfill, and also to treat a lot of the wastewater that is now coming into the landfill to ensure that we can recycle that material and have that water for use like irrigation and that kind of use. It would not be potable water, of course.
There's news tonight that 16 workers of B&B Distribution, a subsidiary of Banks Holdings, are now out of a job. It's the result of a restructuring program undertaken by the company. CEO Richard Cozier has been shedding some light on the situation.
The new structure requires 16 people less than the old structure had, but the changes would have impacted more than 16. So we allowed persons who the changes would have impacted, if they so desired, to apply for the new jobs, if you will. But there was always going to be an element of that we could not accommodate, and those were the 16.
Mr. Cozier says the move should come as no surprise, as they have been in talks with the union about the plan for some months now.
So we would have had negotiations with the workers' representatives over the last 2 months to identify, to satisfy that everything that we wanted to do was in keeping with our promise and our commitments to the labour, and we would have gone through the exercise of identifying the job requirements going forward, both in terms of all the jobs and the jobs that would drop out.
While tourism numbers have been generally down over the past 9 months, one of Barbados' newest resorts is reporting positive numbers ahead of the much-anticipated winter tourism season. In fact, Executive Director of the Radisson Aquatica Resort Barbados, Atef Nicholas, says they have been ranked highly by major internet travel site TripAdvisor and others.
The success of the Radisson brand here in Barbados has been remarkable. We've experienced the highest occupancies over the last 42 years here at the resort since we've become a Radisson resort. We've had periods where we sold out. We're currently sold out for Christmas, and periods of 2014 already. So we're #1 on TripAdvisor for the last 6 months.
Mr. Nicholas said the Radisson has also been playing its part by using produce from local farmers, and this will continue when they open a new restaurant soon called Red Ginger. The executive director also commented on local response to the Radisson, noting that their staycation packages have been very popular.
The response has been phenomenal. We get calls all the time. We participated with the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association for their staycation packages, and we are so pleased with the response that we've had. Phenomenal bookings, both in the staycation as well as from the visitors to the island.
Lawmen are probing an accident at Wilde St. Michael between a minibus and a ZR van. The collision reportedly occurred late this afternoon, and 3 people in the ZR van complained of injuries to the shoulders, feet and arms. One passenger, 20-year-old Rachel Williams, who had a 17-month-old baby with her, were rushed to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital along with 2 other passengers in the ZR van. A crowd gathered at the scene of the accident along with lawmen who are investigating the matter. And a 28-year-old Jamaican national has been remanded in custody on drug possession-related charges. She is Zoliame Carisha Smith, who arrived at the Grantley Adams International Airport yesterday around 5 in the evening aboard a flight from Jamaica. Her suitcase was searched by customs officials, and a false bottom containing 6 packages of cannabis weighing 4 pounds were discovered. The woman was then arrested and charged with possession of cannabis, trafficking, possession with intent to supply, and importation. When she appeared in the District D court today, she was not required to plead to the charges and was remanded to reappear in the Oistins Magistrates Court on Thursday. There will be a 10% discount on LIAT fares for members of the Barbados Association of Retired Persons. BARP's executive manager, Elsa Webster, says the members will be able to visit destinations like Trinidad and St. Lucia.
You must be traveling with a group of 4, maximum 10 people. Now, this doesn't mean you can have 7 groups of 10 people, but a minimum of 4 people traveling in a group, all of whom must be members of one of the qualifying organizations, an ARP. LIAT has kindly consented to include in that grouping other senior organizations.
The Six Roads Independence Market Festival has been launched with a twist for this year. Chairman of the Market Association, Curtis Jordan, says there will be a difference with the farmers' market. Mr. Jordan was speaking during a press conference at the Mount Gay Visitors Center.
Will be health checks from 10 a.m. until. Also, we're having school tours. This school tour will be done by Princess Margaret School. They'll be touring the laboratory to see the operations of the markets. This school tour will be taking place as early as 9 o'clock in the morning. We have local product sampling.
Mr. Jordan said there were some 4,000 patrons last year. Now, manager of markets, Henderson Graves, has made an appeal to people to visit the market.
The cultural atmosphere in the market would again be brought to bear on these sort of programs. So, from an economic point of view, yes, the tenants would then be able to sell their produce, and I hope that they would not price themselves out of the market, so to speak, but that they would capitalize on these activities to break even, because times are very hard.
Principal of St. Leonard's Boys, Joseph King, already has plans for the proposed 6th form at the school. He says they intend to take the school into the area of technical and vocational studies.
At the 6th form level, we will be offering communication studies, electronic and electricity, geometrical drawing, design and technology, auto mechanics and autotronics. 2 new syllabi are being looked at, and that is project management and finally environmental studies in the area of renewable energy.
The first of 4 winners in the Pine Hill Dairy's World Milk Day competition has been revealed. The competition was open to primary school students, and 1 winner each from class 1 to 4 has been chosen. Yesterday, the class 1 winner, Joshua Valère of St. Angela's Primary School, was presented with his prize of a Kindle Fire HD tablet. The school also received a $1,000 prize. The Class 2 winner is from Reynold Weeks Primary, the Class 3 winner from All Saints Primary, and the Class 4 prize has gone to a student from the Roland Edwards Primary. More than 750 essays were entered into the competition from 62 public and 15 private schools. The students were asked to submit essays which began, "My parents should ensure I drink milk each day because." Well, it's clear in the Ministry of Health's HIV and AIDS and Health Promotion Department that it is a special time of year. No, it's not Christmas that is on the minds of those who work on the 4th and 5th floors of the NIS building. It is Barbados' 47th anniversary of independence. Felicia Innes, who works in the department, says the decorations pay tribute to special features of Barbados. For instance, there is Parliament, Independence Square, the Wildlife Reserve, and the Baobab Towers. There's also a replica of sorts of the Bridgetown Port's Shed 2. She says it's the first time the office has been decorated in this way, but the second year for the department's month-long activities to mark independence. Throughout the month, there will be health checks and talks, a quiz on November 28th, and a food day.